Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Blue. We are back with another video. I usually make feral content, but I'll try to make this very much focused on just the general population of the WoW players. But we're going to be talking about crafting items. Okay, this is very important this week because this is a week where I think people are going to be pushing their keys. And if you do 16 or higher keys, you're going to get a item that basically lets you craft, upgrade your crafts, right? So the reason I'm doing this video is I went ahead and I crafted my item. I do not consider myself to be a blacksmith, okay? But, and the thing is, I don't consider myself to be a blacksmith, I don't consider myself to be a leather worker, but I want a specific quality item, so I will become that, okay? And that's what basically this video is just to educate the audience and say, hey, you know, I don't want to just, you know, crap on Blizzard's system. But the thing is, the way the talent point systems work is if you want an item to be pretty high, I just farmed 10 plus 16s or higher, I want my weapon to be pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? Right? And I'm pretty sure everybody else does too. So the best way to ensure that your item is pretty decent is you have to do it yourself. Now, a secret that I have been withholding from the general public, and it's not a big secret, I wish I knew the YouTuber now, but I've been doing this basically since the expansion launch, and I stumbled upon this. I wish I knew his name so I can give him credit. But basically, the most important things about your professions, and I don't think anybody's been really talking about this yet, maybe they have, is not your profession itself. That is not important. When it comes to crafting specific items, the very most important thing, and unfortunately I got rid of my blacksmithing, right when I made my item I got rid of it. The most important thing is your, I forget what they're called. What are these called? Your knowledge, okay? Your knowledge is the very most important thing, and the best way to get your knowledge, and this has been kind of a secret that I've been holding, and I think people have been hush-hush about this because they don't want to get kicked out of the game. Basically, the best way to do this is you unlearn your professions every single week. You unlearn your professions, you pick up professions every single week, and you unlearn them, okay? For instance, my professions are gathering. I do gathering because it nets me a whole bunch of gold. But I want to make my weapon the highest weapon I can. So what does that mean? Each week, I drop one of my professions, I pick up blacksmithing, and the reason I pick it up is I do my weekly quests. That weekly quest is going to net me knowledge. What it also does, by the way, is it nets you a crap ton of rep for these artisan consortiums. And if you've been doing this each week, your rep is really, really high, right? I think there was one week where I didn't do it. If I did do it and I was like really consistent on this, I'd pick up every single profession and I would have this maxed out by now, and then I can buy this very last thing that increases your knowledge, right? Which is really good. You guys are probably a little bit behind on that, but that is something you can do, is you can pick up every single profession, you get the gatherings to 50, and then the quests unlocks, and then all the other professions, I believe the crafting ones are 25, and then you do that quest, gets you the knowledge, and then you can drop it, you know? If you want to just get your rep up, do every single damn thing, it's going to be costly, right? And time consuming, but then that can get your rep up, right? Every single weekly quest nets you like 500 rep, which is huge, okay? But now let's talk about the specifics. Why is the crafting system, why doesn't it work, right? We talked about the importance of knowledge. Let's look at my weapon, for instance. What did this weapon require for me to be 15, okay? Let's talk about this, because I said, hey, I have an ability to craft this weapon, to make it big. Let me look at some blacksmithers that are basically in community chat. I found a blacksmither, maxed out blacksmithing, and I said, hey, I want you to make this item for me. What do you think the quality of the item, what do you think the quality that you can give me? You know, with maxed out quality, items to put in to make the weapon. Sorry, I'm not really saying it very well. He says basically, well, I think I can get it to level 3, you know? And it's like, I just did 16 plus dungeons, 10 of them. I want my weapon to be better than a level 3, right? So basically, I did not settle for that. And the reason he can only do level 3 is he had zero knowledge, or maybe some knowledge invested in this weapon. But you basically need all of the knowledge. To make it 415, I will tell you how I did it. what this weapon looks like, and this is just in general for you guys thinking about doing other things. This is going to be for me leatherworking. I'm eventually going to craft these boots here. I'm going to turn these to 402 into 415. I'm going to do the same thing. So it doesn't matter what profession you're looking at. This is basically how you're going to need to do it. So let's say, for instance, I wish I had my blacksmithing, but unfortunately didn't. So to craft the weapon, what does the weapon page look like? It looks like this. You have one node, and then it goes off into two directions, and then it's got this node right here, and then from here it jets off in two more directions to specialize into a weapon, either maces or axes, or in my case, a polearm, right? It required me to invest everything into the polearm, everything into this specialization, and everything into this specialization, okay? All these three that connected. Now, what does that do? Well, every single point you invest into it, yeah, they have specific nodes that do cool things. You know, hey, I'm going to increase your skills when you do this, or obviously your skills. Every single one point that you do is going to increase your skill into that weapon, but they do other things too that I think you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So to make that 415 weapon, it required me to invest all of my knowledge into every single one of these three, and this is going to explain to you why you don't want to just pick some random blacksmither that did not invest into these, okay? It required all three of these nodes to be fully completed, and then once it was fully completed, I believe it required me to be level 65, okay? 65, full knowledged out, and the best reagents. I was able to make a 415 weapon with a missive, and that was it, right? So that was a missive, best reagents, and then I also had a side item here that increased the quality by like plus 30, okay? And that was it. Just for your information, this weapon, it required me to be, and basically there's points of how much like you're investing into that weapon. It cost me 292 points. I was able to achieve 292. What those points consist of is full knowledge in the weapon, and then up to 65 blacksmithing, right? It I checked out what is it going to take me to get to the next level, right? Because we want the best of the best. What it's going to take is it went from 291 to I believe like 350. So it wants me to go from 291 to 350. I barely got 291, right? This is what it took me to get to 291. So I need to get to 350, which is basically a difference of 60 points. Well, how am I going to get those 60 points? Well, it's impossible. I'm already at 65, so the difference between 165 isn't enough. I'm already maxed out on my knowledge, which isn't enough. So basically, for me to get the max level weapon that I can, I need to fully invest in my blacksmith, and I need to drop my missive. My missive makes the recipe a little bit more difficult to do. So basically, I can make it doing those options, but I'm not going to get the weapon with the correct stats that I want. So then you're going to have to RNG roll your weapon, okay? So basically just want to show you the difficulty of creating these items at max 418, okay? So when you are going in here and you don't know any of that, and you're going in here and you just keep on buying all the reagents to do this, which is hella expensive, and you don't know anything, and you're just like, well, this blacksmith says he's fully knowledged out, or he's close to being knowledged out. He's just using you to help his rep go up. There's nothing he can do for you because he doesn't have the knowledge invested in this weapon, right? So he might be able to only make you a level 3, you know? And then he's like, well, hey, keep on sending me mats, you know, maybe able to make it level 4. What he's doing at that point is he's just relying on inspiration, which is a chance for it to get higher. Okay? So don't get dicked around by everybody just because you don't understand the professions. If you want to do this, I would say the only way to ensure it is do it yourself. And then also, these 418 items, don't even consider that, because again, you have to be fully invested into the craft, fully invested into the knowledge, and then once that happens, you still have to RNG it. For something like this weapon, nobody wants to RNG the mats to create this weapon. I mean, it's expensive, right? And it's expensive to level up from 0 to 100. Basically, to do that, you have to be getting items. You have to be getting a lot of people to let you craft their items at lower value. And then you're going to have to craft another, and then once you max it out, you're still RNGing it, right? So I just want to give you that information. I think a lot of people are really unfamiliar how this works. And when you get that big item that says, hey, you can get an item from 402 or 408 to 418, you're like, hey, I want that 418 item. Who do I search to get that? Nobody. Unless you know a buddy that you can like, hey, please tell me your skill points and your knowledge points. There's no way to check people's knowledge. They can lie to you. They can take your mats and just use you to level up their craft. It's a mess. The only way to really ensure it, you guys, is do it yourself. Pick up every single week. First of all, you're going to start needing to get those talent points because you're probably behind. Pick it up every single week, unlearn it, and then it's still a costly thing, but it's going to be less costly if your knowledge isn't there, or if you're just you don't really know how the crafting system works, and you're just going to be sending people a whole bunch of items to make you an item, which is impossible to do, and they know it. But that's it, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Good luck. Hopefully I don't get kicked out of the game for this little, basically this thing about how to get your Ardian Consortium rep up. I don't know what the hell this thing's called. By dropping your professions, unwinning your professions. Also, when you drop your professions, you guys, I'm at 0. I just dropped blacksmithing. I picked up herbalism again. It does not mess with your invested points, okay? The most important thing about these professions is your knowledge, okay? Drop them, get rid of them, pick them up again, gain more knowledge, drop them, everything. Do the whole loop. That's it. Hopefully you guys got some ideas and tips from this one. But that's it for me. Take it easy, everybody. Peace out.